Alright guys, just got back in from a nice little fishing trip. And I got the Charlies. That's Big Charlie and Little Charlie. Gonna help me.
Square.
Huh?
Charlie Square.
Charlie Square. Okay. The two Charlies are gonna help me clean these fish up that we caught. So enjoy this episode of DockSide TV on how I caught these and where. And then stay tuned as we're gonna cook these up and show you guys a new little recipe. Let's go ahead and clean them and we're gonna bait the crab trap. Alright guys, we fishing some shorelines on the eastern end of Pontchartrain. Gonna go over getting off of the bridges. Just fishing some stuff. We got a pretty hard east wind, so when we fish these eastern shorelines of Pontchartrain, obviously we stay out the wind, and for the most part, you kind of get it to yourself and you stay away from the boats. Got a little mess of fish right here, way off this bank, this shoreline here, and they're mixed up between keepers and throwbacks. Let's see if we can put a few keepers in the boat and make a day. I'm throwing off this, off this drop off or ledge coming off the shoreline. And up tight to the shoreline. If you look at one of our episodes last year, we were fishing that rock jetty, throwing at it. And today, I'm finding that they're off. So I'm getting close to the bank and throwing out with the wind. That's a pretty good fish right there. Letting it get to the bottom. There's a good school of fish out there. You can just slow roll it back in or bounce it back in, whatever you want. Got the green hornet right now. There's another decent fish right there. So what happens here on this shoreline, you have the mouth of the Wrigley's where it hits Pontchartrain to our north, and the mouth of the Chef that hits Pontchartrain to our south. And when the tide's coming in or going out, you get a really good tidal flow coming down this shoreline because the current's got to shoot into one of those major passes. And we got old abandoned camps that we like in here. You got underwater cement structures that are good spots in here, like the hospital wall and more. You got rocks by the Chef that we fish. You got rocks right here that we fish, but you could almost just get in like 6 to 12 foot of water and just troll this shoreline. These fish a lot of times are just, they're just roaming this shoreline looking for bait. They'll set up in different areas. And right now, we found them right off of this rock jetty out in the deeper water. Now I'm using a 5/16 ounce jig head, as there's not like a terrible amount of current here. I got it on a green hornet. I'm throwing out in no man's land. It's about 8 foot, so you can use a 1/4 ounce. You could use a 5/16. You could use a 3/8 if you needed to. Whatever you're comfortable with. Let it get to the bottom, and just do the Pontchartrain pop as always. Just letting that jig head make constant contact with the bottom. Boom, boom, you know, pick it up, let it fall, boom. What happens is when that jig head's hitting that bottom, there he is. When that jig head's hitting that bottom, it's making little dust clouds, and a lot of times shrimp and other types of things that speckled trout like to eat, they're like hiding in the mud down there. And when they get spooked, that one's close, so let him go. When they get spooked, the little fin fish or the shrimp or crustacean, whatever they're on, they'll jump out that mud. And a lot of times it's the mud that gets the fish's attention, not necessarily the actual shrimp or fish or what, you know, fin fish or minnow that they're looking for. So the jig head bouncing that bottom is extremely important, and it really is effective technique to get the fish's attention. That's why I like it so much when I'm fishing a little bit deeper water. I mean, there's a gazillion of them here right now, and when it's like this, you want to get it out there as fast as you can and catch as many as you can. It's been a little difficult this spring, so when you get on a good bite like this, take advantage of it. Oh, just slow rolling it in and hit it. I mean, there is a wad of them there, guys. A wad. Well, some of them are throwbacks like this, but talk about fun. I haven't had too many every cast style trips here. I'm going to put the measurement on this one. The Green Hornet is the color I'm going with today. This is one of our more popular colors at Matrix. Beautiful color. Avocado top with a glow belly. And this is what we talked about during all of those trestle and bridge episodes is, you know, we get in that first little run of trout that come into the lake, or right when they first start biting, when you get the first warm up in February or March. Typically the trestle is one of the only places you can kind of have any faith or consistency in. But as you get into April, the trestle will get more and more fish, but it also gets more and more boats. And today was a pretty nice day. When I was leaving and looked at the marina, I saw a tremendous amount of boats. So the last thing I wanted to do was fish for sure the trestle. Really, I didn't want to fish the bridges at all, but definitely I do not like checking on the trestle whenever I see the parking lot full at the marina. So this is an east wind. I like to fish the eastern shoreline. On a south wind, I'll go over to the southern shoreline between the Chef and Irish Bayou. Sometimes you get into the red, sometimes you get into the trout there. But my main point is, you know, it just blows my mind how many people just are glued to that trestle. And I get it, it's good. But when it's busy and crowded, like it was this morning, it's usually only good for that first daylight drift. And when they shut off, they're not going to magically turn back on. You got to move around and get away from the boats. Them boats will shut that bite down big time. And you got to find you a new bite with no boats on some fish that aren't getting abused, like this head shaker right here. Come on up here. Another decent one. These certainly aren't giants, but I will take a little mess of these. These are the perfect ones to eat. Maybe we'll clean these up and do a little recipe and cook some of these suckers tonight. Show you guys a little trout recipe or redfish recipe. It works on everything. I got one in mind to show you guys. Oh, that feels like a keeper. I'd love to know what's keeping this school of fish concentrated way off the bank like that. What we got here? I foul hooked him? Or is this just a flat out good one? I don't know, guys. This one's Oh, and we don't even get to see him. Are you kidding me? That was by far the nicest fish of the day. By far. Oh, well, if you missed one, you just throw right back in there, and you get you another one. That's how I like it, Louisiana style. Missed one at the boat? Oh well, no problem. Throw it right back into that school. Let them get to chomping on that green hornet matrix. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy episode of DockSide TV, fishing the eastern shoreline of Pontchartrain, catching beautiful speckled trout like this right here, using the green hornet matrix. Subscribe to our monthly bait box. You have plenty of matrices in there with some jig heads like we used today. You'll have some green hornets like we used today in there. Subscribe to the bait box. Get your hands on those products. It's some of our best-selling products. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we fish all kinds of places in the Pontchartrain Basin besides those bridges. So we're pretty much off the bridges now for the most part. And now we're fishing some shorelines and some other things. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. And until next time, good fishing. Stay tuned. We're going to cook some of these fish up. Show you a cool little recipe.
What did you catch? Charlie, help me.
Try one, babe. You just get a hold of them and grab.
I feel weird.
That'll work.
Yeah, and then I'll put it in the bucket. Yeah. Ah!
Higher than that. Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Good job.
All right, Simba, calm down, bud. Simba.
Simba.
All right, so we're gonna first off go ahead and clean these trout. Obviously, before we show you guys a little recipe, but not only do we eat the trout, we use these trout carcasses as they make fabulous crab bait for a couple crab traps we keep on the dock. Once you fillet the fish off the skin, then you want to cut the rib cage out. That also makes good crab bait. Let's get this one off the skin. Old Simba sure don't like when the pelicans come. Let's get these pelicans close. Let you guys show how mad Simba gets. But once you get it off the skin again, you got a rib cage on each side. Cut that off, but save it for the crab bait. All right, Blake, what kind of fish we got here that we about to cook?
Speckled trout.
Can they hear you?
Speckled trout.
Speckled trout. So the first is just the basics. Lemon pepper, put that on there. Little Tony's. And several pats of butter that we have on there. No. Here, put that back on there. And we got that on both sides. And we're going to just simply create this into like an envelope. And we're going to set the oven to 350 and let it cook for about 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes till it starts flaking. And then I'm going to show you the secret ingredient. All right, so I just checked with the fork. It's pretty much done. This is the secret ingredient at the end. We're going to douse it with ranch. And that's why you want the aluminum foil. All of those juices will stay in there. And we're going to eat it right out the foil. Go ahead and close it back up. And basically what we're doing here is just letting that ranch warm up. Let it cook for a few more minutes and then it'll be done.